Before we hop into today's video, I want to know your thoughts on this potential outcome for Bill Belichick. Would you keep him as the Patriots head coach in 2024, but he steps down as GM? Let me know your thoughts by saying yes for why in the comment section or N for no. It is the main topic on today's show. I want to get your thoughts before we dive in. But with that being said, let's do it. They never end, do they? Another day, another rumor surrounding the future of head coach Bill Belichick. I am Nic Rohloff of Patriots Today. Welcome in. And, well, Adam Schefter has joined the party. He hopped on Pat McAfee and said a lot of interesting things surrounding the future of Coach Belichick. And let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any time because he had a lot of lengthy quotes, and it started with this. Everybody's waiting to see what happens in New England. It's a Robert Kraft decision. And I also think Bill has a decision to make. It could have been very easy at some point in time for Robert Kraft to say, hey, I don't know what all the speculation is coming from. He's my coach, and he's going to be my coach. But Kraft never did that. Now, how does Bill feel about that? I don't know. I'd love to know. So I think there are two guys, two men, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, who have to sit down and figure out if this is something we want to salvage. And if you watched yesterday's video, I know some of you are returning viewers, but if not, we talked about how no one has a clue what is happening in Foxborough. Is Belichick going to stay? Is he not going to stay? We have a million different Patriots beat reporters reporting different things. Just a month ago, our good friend Tom Curran said it was a set decision after the Patriots' disaster in Germany against the Colts that Kraft was going to move on from Belichick following the season's end. We got Diana Russini of ESPN saying that she thinks that it's going to head towards that way that Curran reported. Schefter has no clue. He's not reporting anything. And now there's also been other reporters say that there is no set decision made in that Belichick, as in yesterday's video, has been telling some people inside the Patriots office and the coaching staff that he doesn't know what's going to happen. So this is just one giant mess in Foxborough. No one knows, and we're just trying to decipher if Belichick is going to return or not. We'll dive through a lot more analysis and avenues this way this situation could head in just a bit. But I want to make sure you all are subscribed to the channel because we are going to have every piece of Bill Belichick covered. That came out weird. Stay with me there. News, rumors, everything. We'll have you covered. We're also 11 away from 7K. And guess what? We get there on today's video. I'm going to take a shot. All right, we got to regroup. But 7K subscribers, we get there on today's video. I'm taking a shot to start off next video. But the quotes from Adam Schefter did not stop there. Because Pat McAfee did ask him, is that something that is being tightly guarded right now in Foxborough of what is possibly going to happen in the future? Well, Adam Schefter responded saying, I don't think Bill knows what's going to happen right now. And Kraft hasn't said anything. I personally find it hard to believe that Robert Kraft has shared his feelings on Bill Belichick's future with somebody before he sits down and talks to Bill himself, but that is my own opinion. And something that we do know is that the Patriots are playing pretty hard right now. Like, they're not just rolling over and saying, let's go to the draft, right? They've won 2 out of their last 3 games, including 2 of them on primetime football on the road. And not to mention, out of the last 3 games where they're 2-1, these are all playoff teams. The Chiefs obviously lead the AFC West. Yes, they've had their struggles, but they're going to be in the postseason. The Steelers on Thursday Night Football, in a must-win situation almost, folded. They lost 21-18 with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. And then this past Sunday night, Christmas Eve, the Patriots waltz into Denver and take down the Broncos on a game-winning Chatter Island kick where the team was absolutely juiced up. Everybody was going nuts on the sidelines besides Trent Brown, that loser. And then Bill Belichick even showed some emotions. And now the Broncos are in such disarray that they had to turn to Jarrett Stidham for the final 2 weeks of the NFL season, so Russell Wilson didn't get hurt, and they didn't have to owe him a guaranteed $40 million of some sorts. But there is no quit in this Patriots team, and with 2 games remaining, you wonder what Belichick and this coaching staff have cooked up, right? A lot of us have turned our head to the NFL draft as fans. The players obviously have not done so. But with games against Buffalo in Buffalo, and then at home against the Jets to round out the year, it is very intriguing to see how this Patriots team finishes. They're 2-1 their last 3. What if they go 2-0 and finish the year 4-1? I get that the coaching aspect has never been the problem with Belichick, but you have to wonder if a team with this lack of talent goes 4-1 down the stretch, beating multiple playoff teams. I wonder if that weighs into the decision of Robert Kraft, and we'll get to that decision in just a bit, but I do want to know what you guys are thinking. In Buffalo this upcoming weekend, then at home against the Jets, how many games does New England win down the stretch? 1-1, 2-0, 0-2? Let me know down in the comments section. Coming up, could Bill Belichick actually stay on as head coach but lose his GM powers going forward? It was the question I asked you to start off today's video. We'll talk about what Schefter said about that possibility and my thoughts on it in just a bit. But first, I know Christmas just passed, but there's never a bad time to get some Patriots hats. It's cold in Foxborough. This beanie will keep you nice and warm. There's also other types of hats, like a throwback, flat brim. There's all sorts of hats. And we're running a special promotion where you can get some hats at a discounted price. If you go to chatsports.com/PatsHats, you can grab any one of these Patriots hats. And hey, if you forgot to get someone something for Christmas, hey, I've done it before. You can just say it was coming a little bit later and the shipping got delayed. Chatsports.com/PatsHats. Get some sweet Patriots gear right after this Christmas season and use that link. It will be in the description and comments of today's video. But I do think Belichick should stay on as head coach if he's willing to drop the GM powers. I've been on record saying it's never been about the coach. Belichick has still coached what I think is a pretty good job, especially on the defensive end this season. It's just all about his offensive vision and ability to evaluate offensive talent in not only free agency, but of course the NFL draft. Schefter shared his thoughts on the matter. I think those are all going to be a part of the conversations that occur. And again, I'm not trying to avoid it. I just think that all these questions are on the table right now, and it may just be Robert saying, and Robert Kraft, we want you to bring in somebody here to help out. That's important to us. That could happen. And to me, that is the ideal situation. Listen, this head coaching cycle is going to be very intriguing, and if the Patriots do move off Belichick, there's a lot of people out there that deserve head coaching gigs, but there's also not that many names that are surely, no doubt, guys that are going to come in and change a franchise around. Sure, maybe you can argue Jim Harbaugh can do it, but I'm not really sold on that idea, because if I think he wants to come to the NFL, I think he's going to want to be a GM coach hybrid like Belichick is now, and if I'm getting rid of Bill Belichick, I'm kind of wanting to go away from that mold so we can have a separate GM and a separate head coach. Ben Johnson, sure, he can be someone that would be intriguing to me. But after that, is there really anyone that is a slam dunk head coaching hire? So if you can convince Belichick to be just the head coach and you bring in a GM, and yes, I know it's unlikely, and it would be tough to convince Belichick on the matter to stop having control over personnel because he's had control for the past decade plus, right? But just get him some help because he can still coach a damn defense, and if you could just get someone to build the offense, boy, you might be cooking with gas. And if you look at the Patriots 2023 statistics and the rankings inside the NFL, there's a clear break-off when it comes to offense and defense. Belichick has his hand in the defense, but he doesn't have his hand in the offense. And guess what? The defense, 16th in points per game, 8th in yards allowed, 15th in passing yards a game, which, by the way, not to mention, you're missing what could have been the potential defensive rookie of the year in Christian Gonzalez, who was just terrific after 4 games, and then he got hurt. And then look at the rushing defense, 2nd in the league in rushing yards allowed. And then you flip over to that offense. It's just horrific. It makes you want to scream and gouge your eyes out. Least scoring team in the NFL, 28th in yards, 24th in passing yards, and 27th 5th in rushing yards. It is very, very bad. And the thing that even kills me, too, with those statistics is that, sure, if you're going to tell me that Belichick is good at coaching and he has a hand in the defense and it's good, but no hand in the offense and it's bad, well, shouldn't we just blame Bill O'Brien, the Patriots offensive coordinator? I don't. I don't even think it's Bill O'Brien's fault for the offensive issues. To me, the offensive issues stem from the lack of talent and lack of vision from Bill Belichick, which is our GM. It's the reason why he gets all of the slack and the issues from fans that we point out, is because he's the one who handpicks this roster. If someone else was giving him this offensive roster, I don't think anyone would have a problem with Belichick, and I don't think anyone would want to fire BB. But the offense has been horrific, and you just see some of the draft misses over the past 5 seasons. Just the last 5. I mean, there hasn't been any good offensive players drafted, especially at that wide receiver position. Tyquan Thornton a couple years ago. I liked him. Speed demon out of Baylor. He has stunk up the joint. He can't get PT on the worst receiver group in the entire NFL. N'Keal Harry, which do I even have to say more? That guy is an absolute bum. And it goes farther than that, right? He might have had a good hit with Demario Douglas in the 6th round this past year's draft, but he has consistently missed NFL wide receiver talent in the top 2 rounds. And that just can't happen because wide receivers drive this league. But going back to Bill O'Brien just for a second, do you blame him for the offensive issues? If you do, type B. If you don't, type D. Like I mentioned, I really don't blame Bill O'Brien. I think he's done an okay job calling plays. It's just that with an offensive line that has struggled and with a wide receiver group that has been so problematic with issues and not able to separate, and then you got Mac Jones' regression. I blamed Matt Patricia last season for the offensive issues because I thought after a rookie season that was very promising, Mac Jones wouldn't regress like that unless it was for the play calls. But after a second year, it might just be more on Mac Jones and his inability to find people open because there is nobody open rather than the actual coaching staff. It's a real thing we have to think about. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, though, because the Belichick conversation will not end here. And with an offseason that is just around the corner, so many massive questions looming between the NFL draft and free agency, and then obviously Bill Belichick. You will not want to miss a thing, so hit that sub button. Let's get to 7K subscribers on this video. And remember, I'm taking a shot to start off the next video if we get there from this show. I'll see you on the next one. Go Pats.